Yo, what's up? What's up, TikTok? This your boy, Original Blood. Yep, as you already can see, I look very tired. It's been a long day at work today. Hell yeah. But fortunately, I just got off of work, right? So this video is for all of my Haitian brothers and sisters asking to join the law enforcement. So stay tuned. Yo, your boy's back. All right. Before we go any further, make sure you guys subscribe, like it, share it, or repost it to all your followers or friends, so that everybody can actually take something out of that video. Okay. So first thing first, like I said, one of my followers left a comment up here from another video that I had posted, and he wanted me to make a video about our Haitian brothers and sisters asking to join law enforcement. So I'm going to be detailed about it, but I might have to do a part two because there's so many things that I will have to discuss about how to join. All right, so let's move forward. For all of my Haitians, or anybody who was not born in this country called the United States of America, all of you guys, especially targeting my Haitian community, if you want to join the law enforcement, become a police officer, um, the very first thing you should check on is your legal status. It's very important. You need to check on your legal status, which include what is your legal status. Like, you must be legally authorized to work in the U.S. as far as for either you are a citizen or you hold a green card. That's it. So some agencies, they allow immigrants to join their agencies as long as you have a legal um, paperwork as far as for green card holders, and obtain your citizenship, become a U.S. citizen. This could actually um, permit you to work with some of those law enforcement agencies. Not all of them. Some are very strict. They will not allow you, like where I work. They will not allow you to work without being a U.S. citizen. So I had to go through the process, make sure I was uh, good with my legal status, and I applied. The second thing is a driver license. So you need a driver license. So it's required by the state. Any state that you are currently residing right now, it's required by the state for a legal resident or legal person living within the United States. If you're living in any states, you are required to have some form of identification, either a ID or a driver license, whichever. ID if you don't have a driver license, and if you do have a driver license, it is also considered as an ID, because if you have a driver license, you don't need to go get your ID. All right, so you definitely need you of Florida, because I'm talking about specifically Florida because that's where I work. The Florida require you to have a Florida driver license, okay, and also a clean driving record. It does matter. I'm not saying like if you had a citation or two, it's going to be a problem, but you definitely have to have a clean driving record. It matters a lot, okay. Too many tickets can, or suspension can slow the process, okay. They're gonna have to dig into more to see if you're like a habitual offender or some stuff like this. You feel me? And also, you need to have a social security number, a social security card, where I believe it's 8-digit number, if I'm not mistaken. 9 digits. Yeah. So yeah, you definitely need you to get a social security number. Okay. We need those paperwork. Okay. With those paperwork, you can start seeing where you stand from the process. All right. The other thing you need to be aware of, it's your education. Education, it's really good. You at least need a high school diploma or what we call GED minimum. Okay, you definitely need to have a high school diploma or minimum GED. If you have college degree, it's a bonus point. Okay, not always required, but you definitely will get credit for it. Okay, it's good. It makes you look good, and when it's time for promotion, you most likely will be the first one to be considered or preferred to start the process and evaluate for any promotion and stuff like that. But it's equal, okay? Equal opportunity everywhere. So, yep, you definitely will need you to have some education level. Minimum required is a high school diploma or GED, okay? So you definitely need that. And also, on top of the education, you definitely need a good background history. Okay, some of y'all been done doing this out there. I I understand. I don't judge people by from the past, but you definitely need to have a good background history. There is where a lot of people like get disqualified because of their background. Some of people like they had something in the past, they were arrested or they were convicted or they went to court for it, whatever the situation was. It looks like you were a suspect of a crime or being convicted of a crime. This you will have some agencies, you will have to explain and bring paperwork to show proof that whatever it was, it's cleared, but still it can slow you down. But any background history, you need to be extremely careful of your background. Okay, if you know you had a crazy background, I would strongly advise you before you even start the process to talk to a recruiter, talk to somebody who's already in there. They can check or they can help you and guide you depending on which agency, because every agency varies their process different. From some agencies will give you the try, okay, some will just drop you. So it happens a lot. So my experience, I'm just giving you guys the basic for now, and then I'm gonna talk about my experience. Yeah. More about the background history. You need to have a full address history, last 5 to 10 years, job history, same time frames. You need references, friends, and supervisors. Please, I beg you, do not lie. Okay, do not lie because they will find out. This is one job in this. I'm not saying this world, but in the whole entire United States, when you apply for it, it's either the army or the police. They will dig into your stuff. Okay, they will ask around you. They will knock on doors. They will go above and beyond to find out who they're dealing with. Okay, so do not lie. I beg you, do not lie. Integrity is the key. Be honest. Okay, just be honest. Explain. If they want you, nothing will stop you. If they don't want you to, they'll give you another opportunity, or they drop your case, or whatever happened. Okay, so do not lie. Another thing that usually disqualify people, it's criminal records. Okay, criminal records, check those things. Sometimes if you're not having like any serious criminal history, I don't think you should have to worry about anything. Any domestic violence conviction, I'm not saying about those ones that you get to the court and it's got dismissed, because a lot of time when we arrest people for domestic, and based on what both parties explain, because in the state of Florida, it's not up to the offender or the victim to press charges. Whoever committed the crime, and we have proof or we have evidence that a crime has been committed, battery has occurred, then somebody's going to jail. It doesn't matter how bad it is. If battery occurred, we have proof of it. Somebody's going to jail, and it's up to the state attorney to define if that person is going to get charged or not. So 9 out of 10, you make an arrest for domestic, and based on the totality of circumstance, and the state attorney or the state decided to drop the charge, not because the cop is not doing his job right, but because it's up to the state based on what they have, what they decide at the time, and they can drop the case. Understand? So domestic cases are one of those. If you have not, if you did drop the case, you got paperwork of it. I know this is the most common crime around the United States, is domestic, okay, and criminal traffic violation. Those can be dropped off if you have paperwork that showed proof that it's been dismissed or whatever the case is. You're not convicted, then make sure you bring those copies and explain in detail, on a blank or whatever piece of paper they give you, or opportunity to explain what happened. You can explain it completely to the recruiter or within the process, depending on how the process goes. Because some they ask it in the beginning, some they ask it in the middle, and some goes in depth in at the end. All right. Again, be honest, okay? Be honest. Do not lie, even if it's a small thing, okay? The very little tiny thing you might think that we don't have record of, we can dig into it. Once we put your information in the system, it will bring all your life, okay? And we can dig into every time. We can even check by your name every time either you've been called 911 or the cops, or somebody had called about you, or you've been involved in anything related to law enforcement, okay? We can check those records. It's public record, okay? After everything is done, it's released to the public. We can check everything, okay? So do not lie, because the system doesn't care about the reason why you was involved in something. If you was involved, it's going to record it, okay? And when we checked it and you lied about it and we have it, there's some stuff, if you forget about it, that's fine. You can always explain it, because the system does not determine when you forget, when you remember. If there's stuff that you don't remember, you can always explain it, and then they can actually, adjust it in the process. Like some of those jobs, no, not jobs. I remember for my process, when I was going through the process, they give me a paper to put in every time I have tried to apply to become a cop, which agency, where, it doesn't matter if I was accepted or denied. So I put the most recent ones, because those are the ones that I had to go through the process. But those that didn't even acknowledge my applications, I didn't put it in the list. I thought I wasn't gonna be a problem. And in fact, when I went to my interview, my officer that was conducting the interview, he asked me a bunch of questions about why, how many agencies that have applied in the past, and who responded to me. So I thought those that count was the one that acknowledged my applications, and then I didn't think the one that didn't even respond back to me wasn't going to count. So in fact, it did count. So he said that I had applied at the time for more than 8 agencies, including my county and surrounded counties, and I forgot a couple of them. So when I forgot a couple of them, and he asked me about, because remember, they all brothers and sisters, and law enforcement, they know each other. They have access. They can talk to each other. Okay. They went and do a background check. They see everywhere I tried to apply, and and he's like, I could have thought that you were lying to me. In fact, I wasn't lying. You get what I'm saying? So I honestly explained to him, so this is the reason why I didn't. So he came to me like as if I was lying, but he knew I wasn't lying. But I told him straight up, this is the reason why. this happened the way it happened. And then he went and adjusted. I don't know what he did, but he adjusted. He found a way to, because he, as I was explaining to him, he was going over the list. He's like, what about this agency? What about this one? What about this one? Why didn't you put this one? And I was explaining, and I was telling him exactly why I didn't put them. So they have access, okay? Don't think they don't think you're gonna be slick on them, okay? So now, mostly for my Haitian brothers and sisters, you need again a work authorization documents as far as for all your legal status paperwork. Either you have your passports, either Haitian passport or U.S. passport. You're gonna have to get those. You're gonna need your green card if applicable, depending on which agency, which state. Some state they will hire you if you're a green card holder. Some state will not. Birth certificates. We need to translate all of these paperwork. Anything that is in foreign language, you need to find a legal office that can translate your paperwork and get them translated. And some of them, some of your school paperwork needs to be translated as well, and also transcribed. Like if you're not if you're not getting your paperwork transcribed, you will have to go through the process again. So mind you, every time you miss one thing in the process, you slow yourself down. Or if you feel like you're wasting time, they're gonna put you back in the list. And if they deny you, trust me, most of those agencies, they give you opportunities in 2 years. So if you miss one opportunity, imagine that you're gonna have to reapply to this company again or agency in the next 2 years. So please be on it, okay? As a Haitian, don't let people work to stop you, okay? Be organized, all right? Be honest and be prepared. This process is strict, but it's possible, okay? I want to encourage all my Haitian brothers and sisters. If I can do it, you could do it too. I've seen people worse accent with barely can speak English, and they actually get hired, okay? And don't ever quit to stop like trying. Don't stop trying. Don't quit to stop trying, okay? If you really need it, you're gonna get it, okay? Do not stop because of paperwork. Ask questions. Ask questions and reach out to some other officers that are Haitians or some other people who work in the same field. They can help you out, okay? Again, before I move to the next step, okay? As a Haitian, I'm talking about for every other immigrant people that got into the United States with the intention of joining the law enforcement under a legal status, okay? Specifically for the Haitian community, there is at least, to resume it, 13 stuff that you need, 13 things that you're gonna need as far as for paperwork for your application, okay? You need a legal status as of a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, okay? You need a driver of a valid driver license, either state, okay? If you reside in Florida, you're gonna need the Florida driver license, okay? On top of that, you need a social security number, okay? You need a high school diploma or a GED. And college, it's a plus, but it's not most of the time, it's not required. But you have college, it's a big plus, okay? It plays good on your record, on your profile and curriculum as well. And you need a full address, past last 5 or 10 years. And also you need a job history, same amount of time. And you need to complete your employment history, like I said, the last 5 or 10 years. And you need the personal and professional references, either from a supervisor or someone you know that knows you well, a neighbor, you know, you name it. And you need a clean record, okay? Disclose everything honestly with the officer within the process. Okay, you need a clean record, and sometimes there's selective services registration as of for male. If you're 18 up to 26, and it's required by, some regulations that you must join or you can join the force. Okay, and also you might see, since you are since you're immigrant, or you if you're not, it doesn't matter. You're still gonna need you to have a passport. Okay, if you're Haitian, you're gonna need your valid Haitian passport or your valid US passport. Okay, you're gonna need your birth certificate. Okay, and all of these documents, I'm telling you, if it's foreign documents, it needs to be translated. If it's school paperwork, it needs to be transcribed and translated. Okay, you need your green card if applicable. Okay, I said it already. Yeah, I believe. And you need to get you a certified translation for non-English documents. There's a lot of stuff online. You can actually, a lot of offices, you can go online and type certified translation for non-English documents services, and then you're going to find some good stuff. Down Miami area, I know I'm not making any advertisement, but I know a good spot. You can actually get all your documents transcribed and translated. Okay, reach out to me in my inbox if you want to know that spot. Okay, I can help you out. Okay, so we're gonna move forward. I'm back again. So now what we're gonna talk about is what you need to know and need to expect within the process of joining the Law Enforcement Academy. Okay, we're gonna talk, first of all, you're gonna need the book academic part. Okay, so you're gonna go through the police academy. You should expect law, constitutional rights, traffic stops, report writing, very important. It's gonna be a lot of writing. I hate reports, but if you do not like doing some office work, trust me, you're gonna, most of the time, you're gonna end up getting stuck working on paperwork. I hate paperwork, but this job is all about paperwork. You gotta have to protect yourself, protect the agency with liability, writing report explaining exactly what you got from this side and what you got from the other side, either or. So it's all about report. You need to report. People will come to you to report anything. It's up to you to know if you need to do a big report or a small report, if you have a crime or if you do not have a crime. So if you do have a crime, each crimes have different procedures. Each crimes have different way to actually investigate it based on your policies and procedures, depending on which agency you're working with. Okay, each agencies, they have their own policies, their own procedures. Please remember, all of those rules, you cannot mess with them, because you join, you sworn in, you accept, and you make your own decision of abiding about those rules. You're gonna have to respect them. Okay, do not mess with this. Yeah. And the second part of it is physical aspect. The physical aspect, you'll be tested on so many things. Okay, so these different agencies have different setup for the physical part of it, but most of them, they have the basic. I'm gonna give you the basic. You should be ready mentally and physically. You should be ready to start running, start making a little run, get your cardio, on point. You should be expecting to run. There's going to be a running portion. There's going to be a push-up or sit-ups. You're going to do a load out of those things. Trust me, you're going to get burned out. And it's going to get you in shape. They're going to build your muscle mass. And they're going to go through some obstacle or agility drills. some tests, some physical tests. They're gonna put you in to see how you're going to physically react under pressure, and when your adrenaline goes up, and then everything like in step in order, how you going to go through it, like dragging some dummy. It's like I think it's a 60-pound dummy. It's like a body, a body like a punching bag. It's filled with sand, and it's like a 60-pound, I believe. And you're gonna have to drag it. There's different way to drag it. There's tricks. I'm gonna make a part two, and I'll explain all that to you guys. Yep, you guys gonna need all this. And then in the hiring process, you need to get ready for the background check. They're gonna dig into your life. Everything you have not disclosed will be, up into them. And there's another process called the polygraph. That's where they hook up all those wires on you, like in the movie. Like you in a lab, like they're testing you. What they do, they put some stuff under your butt too, on the chair. They doing a lie detector. Okay, that's what we call a lie detector. It's a polygraph. So there's some psychological and medical exams. They're going to check if you're not crazy. If you have any medical problem, that if you can have some medical history, as long as it's not going to stop you from being proficient and working within your scope of duty. Okay. And then there's gonna be an interview panels where they're going to have a set of interview, like 5, 6, 7 officers, and for you asking a question, why do you want to do that crazy job? And they're gonna ask you a bunch of crazy questions, and then depending on how you sound motivated, how you explain what's the reason behind you trying to join that world. It's crazy, but hey, you have the choice. This is the time to sell yourself. All right. Now, for me, my experience was a little bit different because of my military background. Most of you guys already know that I am a flight engineer. I'm part of aviation. I was an aircraft mechanic in the beginning. I'm still in, and this was helping me a lot. What I mean is, being in the army, it gives me discipline and situation of awareness. Okay, it gives me a whole lot of other skills and ability that I can actually transfer or use in the police side, like ability to stay calm under pressure. You get what I'm saying? So, and that translated directly into law enforcement in a manner where it makes it easy for me to actually work and do things in a timely manner without even without even second guess myself, or put myself in any type of officer safety situation. Okay. So overall, guys, it's a whole set of process that you have to go through, and you have to be mentally prepared and physically ready to get tested and challenge it. Okay, so it's all about what you really want, because if you're not serious about this career, you will not succeed, because you got to stay in shape and out of trouble, and stay out of anything that could distract your focus out of what you're doing. This job is not just a career, it's a calling. Okay, for me, it's a calling. I had to go through a whole lot. As far as for joining the academy itself, it's a whole different story. And passing those tests, there's a state test. There's also the basic minimum knowledgeable test you have to take as far as for becoming a cop. It calls CJ BAT. You have to take that test too. It's another challenge too. So for those who was born over here, it's a little easier, because if you was born over here, you went to school over here, most of those tests are questions that you actually come across before. For those who was born overseas and went to school overseas, those questions might come off like different, and you might know the answer, but with playing with time and the trick on how to pass the test, I'm gonna make another video about those things too. Okay, so you definitely have to take under consideration on getting ready in all course. So if you're not feeling ready, don't just jump into the process and start and then stop in the middle, because it's going to reflect your record of every time you keep applying, okay? Because if you're not ready, you're going to get dropped in the process. But if you're ready, by starting to study and then be mentally ready and physically ready, doing all that good stuff, when it's that time, you take all the tests, you're ready for the tests, it's not going to be that hard compared to somebody who's full-blown, strange, and new into it. It's not going to be the same, okay? So I hope I helped some guys out there. If you have more questions, feel free to leave the questions in the comment, and then and I'll do a part 2 about it, and I'll combine all the questions together and combine it with my little experience on that too, okay? I hope you enjoy it. Please go ahead and like it, leave a comment, share, or repost it to all the friends, so that this video can reach out to the max, and helping other people as well, okay? So enjoy. It's your boy